Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Allie, and in this Better Beater episode, we are going to show you your infinite options for adding clasps to your jewelry. So you make your handmade clasp, you want a nice clasp to go with it, and maybe you can't find what you're looking for. We're going to solve that.
Yeah, so after you make your handmade jewelry, which you've spent lots of time picking out the colors, you don't just want to have to pick any clasp. You want to pick the right clasp
For your
with the
projects.
right color
For your project. So we're going to go over the Infinite Clasp, which is a new product line from Potomac. We would love to hear your feedback, what other shapes and designs you want to see as we continue to grow this. And we're going to show you the proper way to glue in your selection. So currently we have the Potomac's Infinite Clasps in a couple different styles. We have your cabochon clasp, which is going to fit a 10 millimeter cabochon, so that's flat. Then we have our new long oval, and the long oval clasp is going to fit a long oval that is 9 by 17 millimeters in there. And then we also have some of the Potomac's metal clasps, like this Rivoli clasp, that allows you to put the crystals in. We have it in a couple different sizes. This one is 14. We have single and double strand. So when we're designing, when we're using it, how are you selecting your clasp?
So I pick on my beads. So I made this project here. This is the Charleston. And what I do is I pick all my beads and then I look at a color that I want to pull out that's not really prominent otherwise. So for this one, I really loved the blue and that purple and that like purpley iris color. So I grabbed a clasp, or I grabbed a color for my clasp that pulled those colors out. I didn't want to do something in the gray tones because you already have so much of that gray on the bracelet.
Nice. So you can also go the opposite way. So I'm doing the same thing with this bracelet. I knew I wanted to use the Infinite Clasp. This is one of the Modern Mayhems I'm still working on, like this one and this one above. And I knew I wanted to use the clasp, but I'm still designing because it's kind of random and I don't know exactly what clasp.
You're building your piece off of the clasps.
Yeah.
You're not adding it at the end.
Correct.
So you can go ahead and put that clasp on first and build your bracelet. And then once your piece is finished, you can make that decision about the color at that point.
Change out, yeah.
You're not locking in and committing to a color before
the project
you finish
is done.
the project.
Yep. Yeah. So my suggestion always is to attach your piece and then your clasp, because you may think that one color goes and I say, oh, this would be awesome and I'll use this Potomac's one and this Siam AB is going to be really great. And then I make a piece that has a lot of reds and all of a sudden this looks blue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can decide that after the fact.
In the packaging, as you're gathering, it may look right, but as you work on it, you realize, ooh, maybe, I want to do something else. So for those of us who always like to have options and are not the greatest decision makers, this is perfect.
You buy a 30 clasp or a 30 pack of the check cabs. The other thing I do want to mention, we have the ovals here and we have the cabochons, tons of different options. Rivolis, obviously, tons of options. You also can think outside of the box and do some resin in them. You could do a little seed bead collection and kind of a mosaic look.
Absolutely.
So if you make some, definitely make sure to post your pictures in our beading group on Facebook, Beading and Jewelry Making, and show us what you've done with your Infinite Clasps. So now, the moment that everybody's been waiting for, what's the most efficient way to glue the clasp in? So I'm going to clear this a little bit. We're going to open up some glue and we're going to show ourselves gluing in some options for our clasp. And these are all tongue also. So what type of glue, Anna, is your preference?
So I have been using the Loctite, which is really great. And I'll go ahead and open this while we're talking about it. Crinkle, crinkle.
Crinkle, crinkle, fresh new package.
Yeah, so this is great because it's got the little squeeze sides on it. So as you glue it, or as you squeeze the sides and the glue comes out of this nice fine little tip here, it doesn't come out too fast, and it's also better for precision work. So you're not just, pouring out a bunch of glue and you accidentally pour out too much.
Using a dollop of E6000, which you can do, but I want to show how to control
the E6000 is fine for it too, but the Loctite is better, I think, for the precision that you need in something like these clasps, because you don't have a whole lot of room for that glue.
I'm going to get it started for you.
Thanks.
So you turn it if you're working with the glue, and that gets it started rather than having to punch the top.
Perfect.
All right, surgeon, you're ready. I'm just the nurse on the side.
Yes, you can also pretend like you're a surgeon. So this is the rose gold, which is really, really pretty. And all I'm going to do is just put a little squeeze of that glue down. And because it is, and then you put the top back on right away, so it doesn't dry out. Hopefully you guys all remember that from kindergarten.
Yeah, put your lid on your glue.
Yeah,
Don't
lid
huff
on the
it and put
glue.
the lid on the glue.
And then you're going to select your color. Well, you're going to put that in there.
Either
That
way.
looks really
Either
pretty.
way.
I'm going to do this green because I love this opaly
Oh, I love
green
it too.
with the rose gold. Yeah.
And you just
And
need
so
that little tiny drop.
You just need that tiny little drop, and it doesn't dry too quickly.
So it allows
you
to
can
push
go
it
back
in
there
and make that start setting.
just,
So if you
yeah,
need to,
there
you
we
can
go.
use one of the little grabbers or one of those in there.
Yeah, if you have a crystal like pick me up kind of thing,
That works too.
that's really good too.
And then same deal here. I'm going to take that Loctite, following Anna's lead. I just do the bottom. I don't want to do the sides because when I push down on this one that I'm doing, it pushes it up. So when I push in, I kind of line it up. And then when lining it up, then I push down on the crystal. And you shouldn't see any pop up along the sides. If you do, take your reamer that came in your tool set and literally just kind of scrape it along. You can also wait till it dries. It'll be a little bit rubbery. And then for the round clasps, same thing for if you're doing one of these here. I'm not going to bother to do that, but same thing. Fill up the bottom just a little bit. Don't go too high up the sides. It's better to have to add more glue than it is to take it away.
Yeah.
And then do you want to glue the little rounds, guys? And
Yeah.
see us how much you're using on the middle?
Just a little dollop. This is not the kind of glue that is going to, it's going to be very strong. So you don't need to saturate it. And especially on these little 10 millimeter ones, you can put the cap back on my glue.
Check, surgeon. We're good.
So you don't need to put a whole lot on. And then I just put a little dollop in the center. You don't need to go around the outside with the flat surface of the inside of this clasp. Again, like Ali said, you don't want it to go squeezing out the sides, and you don't want to have to clean up any glue after the fact because, it's kind of messy. You don't want to have to do that. So just go with less, little dollop in the middle, push that guy down and let it dry, and you're going to be good.
Perfect. And like we said earlier, you can obviously glue in whatever you want. You can match up colors and use the clasps as inspiration, because now Anna and I are going to have to make some pieces here, because we have these available in the silver, we have gunmetal, we have copper.
There's 6 total
rose
metals.
Gold, antique brass, and copper.
Yep.
Did I get them all? Gold.
I think you got them all. Silver and gold, and then we've got antique brass, antique copper, and then a rose gold and a gunmetal.
Perfect. Yours sounded way nicer than my presentation. You got it way better. And then with the tongues of these, one other thing with the infinite clasps that we have here, when you have jump rings on them, they are actually solder jump rings. So any of the Potomax clasps that we have with these infinite clasps, when you're looking at the rings, those are soldered. That's great to know for your jewelry. And then they are tongue and groove. If you ever have tongue and groove, whether or not it's a clasp, garden clasp, or ours as well, where you're like, it keeps slipping out, wear and tear, you just go in and kind of expand that. I haven't had an issue with any of these, but after a while, in some of my jewelry that I've had for years, that's going to happen. And that's just a quick little helpful key.
Yep. They're all push clasps. So this is just going to be like a spring essentially.
Right.
So when it loses its spring, which should take a very long time, but if and when it does, you just kind of add a little bit more spring to it by pulling it apart.
And I'm going to let you hear. So this is the infinite long oval. It is a 5-strand clasp. Ready? You hear that nice click. Yeah. So you know that it's nice and secure. So these are the first kind of generations. We have the Rivolis. We have them in 10, 14. We have the long ovals. We have the cabochons now. So we'd love to hear back from you. Comments below. What other shapes or crystals or sizes are you looking for that unique clasp that we can help provide? So thanks so much for joining us in this Better Beader episode about our infinite clasps. We had an opportunity to show you the options when it comes to the different shapes, the different stones, the different crystals that you can put in there, as well as always so much fun how to use glue.
How to use glue. One of my favorite things to show.
And we didn't huff any and we didn't stick any to our fingers. So I feel like we were successful.
No, yeah, I don't have to run to the bathroom and clean my hands off. So this was a good day.
Good to go. If you love these videos, you want to learn more, and these Better Beader episodes really are produced to help make you a better beater, don't forget to subscribe to us. Hit that button right near Anna there over in the corner. And then you won't miss anything from us here at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for joining us, and stay tuned for our next inspirational design.